Hi, friend. Just a little pep talk and thank you video to all my Patreon subscribers and just general donations. Seriously, what an honor it is to be doing something creative and getting paid for it regularly is a feat in itself most people would only dream of. And how privileged I am, again, to be in this position and how things worked out. I started this channel not really sure what direction I would take with it. I needed to get all this cringy self-annihilation and reflection out the way till I got to the point where I can talk to the camera like I'm talking to myself. I'm confronting myself every time I do this. What can I say? It's taken me this long, and I finally have something decent to show for it. A news program I publish every week. And it's what I wanted to do. And I was going back to school, just a little side story of my history. I was going back to school when I was 26 or 27 to get my degree in journalism, a bachelor's of journalism. I thought I wanted to go into broadcast media, like big time hotshot news stuff, or not even that, maybe just local news, papers, all that. But there's no money in that, and it's extremely stringent and not comfortable. For you know me, I mean, look the way I talk, look who I am. How long do you think I would last in that environment? I ended up talking to several people in the industry when I worked in the city, in a big city of Dallas. I Ubered and lifted people in the industry, and they told me how wishy-washy and floppy it could be, how a revolving door, that's what it was, between people going to different firms and the environment and being everything's PC culture. This way, doing your own thing, you may not make as much. I don't get a full-time paycheck. I still have to do my day job, but this is a supplemental activity that I make side money from, and that's the best. I mean, a large part of this video was just saying thank you, and the idea of running off into the woods, as tempting as it is, I couldn't promise a good program if I was living a much more nomadic lifestyle, let's say. This gives me some stability. So I wanted to touch on that, and then just some other things real quick. Well, also, I got kind of lost in VR chat. I got 2 new subscribers from a digital universe. I know you guys are like kids, but like, that's crazy. VR chat is, let me tell you, like, people who don't like do technology, it is freaking crazy. Like, you see the most bonkers and bananas stuff. You go into this virtual realm and you like can dress as any avatar. It's like what you dreamed of as a child, like being in a virtual world in a skyscraper penthouse suite with like a cactus man and a cat and a chicken like sitting around you, and you're talking, and a lot of it unfortunately is like psychobabble. That's the really sad part, is like a lot of it is like kids on there that are just like screaming and going crazy, and you can't have a conversation. But those like brief glimpses where like you meet other people, it's surreal. So I went to the library. They have a VR system, and I dicked around with that for like an hour, and then I went to bed with some single malt Scotch whiskey and thought about how the collapse is going to go down, and it's exponential. It's exponential function. And since everything is such a complicated, interconnected mess, to put it bluntly, everything is outsourced from everywhere else. What I anticipate likely is going to happen within the next 5 to 10 years is we're going to see the staple items, things that come into mind like mangoes and Jell-O. There's a whole litany of products cleaning supplies you wouldn't even think about are manufactured in Brazil, in the tropics, in the subtropics, in the Philippines. And so what happens when those places get inundated with heat domes and people can't work and make shit and live in their habitat? Immediately you're going to see those things off the shelves within days. So how it's going to go, it's going to be like days, like a shipment doesn't come in. You're going to see massive changes around us, then months, then things are going to get really ugly. We're going to have even less supply of stuff. It's going to come in waves, like supply shocks, but there's only we can't handle many shocks. It'll be like a few shocks. So within a span of like months to 2 years tops, this whole civilization can go to a screeching halt. with enough climate casino events happening. And I likely anticipate this somewhere around, 2026, 2028, 2030, 2032. I mean, the military just admitted that we're not going to have military by 2040. So if we don't have a military, we don't get anywhere. I've been envisioning that. And again, I have to see a lot of young people every day, and it irks me that they don't have the spiritual strength to reach outside the bounds. They know what's coming. A lot of them know what's happening, that the world is burning around their periphery, but they don't have the fucking balls or guts to do anything about it. And I see them in me, because I was 21 not that long ago. I'm closer to 21 than many of you guys are. Okay, so what I see in them is me, and I see terror coming, and I see how they might react to supply chain shocks, to climactic weather events happening on the regular, the complete dissimulation of their way of life. I see that, and I don't see them reacting well. I don't see them being able to fend off that scenario. I can barely manage it myself. I could barely manage. One last thing on the apex of expression or doing your craft is flow, but that only is possible when you are skilled enough in the creative endeavor, but you have to put enough time to get to that point. Like 10,000 hours at least on anything to get like somewhat good at it. Then when you got a ringing for some kind of expression, you can use that ability and you get into a state of flow. And when I'm editing, I'll first go through and cut all of my voice out. I'll do all the main editing, and then I'll throw elements on top, and I get into a state of flow, and I'm doing it much faster now. It used to take me a long time. And that is you lose track of time. It's like the best feeling. As drummers, painters, dancers, the state of flow, when you're good at something and you have the passion for it, then you get in that. It's bliss. It's like having sex. It's really good. I yearn for it. Okay, I'm rambling, but I wanted to touch on a few things. VR chat, the collapse, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm doing what I wanted to do. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.